2:47 a.m., the 27th floor of this dark skyscraper stands in sharp contrast to the city below. While the streets glow with activity, Anil Malhotra sits in a silence defined by paranoid isolation. Anil possesses the inventory of success: a corporate empire, a fleet of luxury cars, and a sprawling mansion. These assets fail to provide comfort. Instead, a specific, gnawing misery has taken root in his private life. This chart tracks the source of that misery, maintains a steady line, but his rival, Naman Agarwal, has achieved a sharp upward acceleration. In the boardroom, Naman is winning every major contract, methodically dismantling Anil's market dominance. Extreme wealth offers no protection against a fragile ego. When someone else captures the success you believe you're entitled to, that ego begins to shatter. Anil stops analyzing market data and begins searching for a spiritual culprit. He attributes his shrinking margins to Nazar, the evil eye. He convinces himself that Naman has bypassed traditional competition and is using a supernatural curse to siphon off his corporate secrets. As the losses mount, Anil's logic evaporates. He abandons his board of directors to seek out a darker form of leverage, trading corporate strategy for a path of supernatural revenge. Guided by his driver, Anil travels beyond the city's edge into a heavy nocturnal fog. He enters a cremation ground, where the air is thick with the scent of wood smoke and ash. In the distance, the orange glow of a pyre illuminates the figure of an Aghori. When an insecure mind loses its grip on reality, it will willingly embrace madness to regain a feeling of power. The cremation ground provides a visceral setting for Anil's transition. He stands before the Aghori amidst the sharp smell of burning remains and the heavy, settling weight of graveyard ash. The Aghori ignores Anil's request for help. He recognizes the specific heat of Anil's malice, identifying a man who has come to purchase the total ruin of a rival. The Aghori fashions a crude doll from graveyard dirt and the remnants of a funeral pyre. He pins Naman's photograph to the chest and drives 3 thick needles into the ash. This ritual operates on the reversal clause. A vector of malice travels from the origin to the target, but the Aghori warns, this magic requires a fearless caster. If Anil flinches, a barrier forms. The malice ricochets, striking the sender. Malice is a binding contract. By attempting to curse another, the attacker fastens themselves to their victim with a dangerous, reciprocal threat. The curse appears to manifest immediately. Naman loses his primary investors, his latest projects collapse, and he is nearly killed in a violent car accident. Anil experiences a concurrent boom. New contracts flood his office, and his wealth triples. He believes he has successfully purchased his destiny. But the cost of this victory is a growing psychological rot. Anil begins to violently hallucinate, repeatedly watching the small ash doll on his desk twitch in the corner of his eye. His mind, once sharp, is now preoccupied with the Aghori's warning. The fear finally takes hold during a vivid nightmare. In it, Naman smiles and confirms that the magic is about to flip. Anil wakes up in a cold sweat, gasping for air. By experiencing this moment of pure panic, he has triggered the reversal clause. There is a dark irony in this ritual. The act of destroying an innocent person generates the very guilt and paranoia required to activate the attacker's own destruction. The narrative returns to the starting point, 2:47 a.m., on the 27th floor. The office environment turns hostile. The lights flicker. The ash doll moves autonomously across the mahogany desk, and the Aghori's warning echoes through the room like an accusation. Anil grabs the doll with trembling hands. When he turns it over, his heart stops. The photograph of Naman is gone. In its place is an eerie, distorted image of Anil Malhotra himself. When a malicious person realizes they have become the target of their own weapon, Their mental and professional collapse becomes irreversible. Months later, the skyscraper and the suits are gone. Anil sits on a street corner, bankrupt and begging for change, having watched his empire dissolve under the weight of his own panic. A shadow falls across his begging bowl. Anil looks up to see Naman Agrawal standing before him. Naman reveals the final, devastating detail. He never sought revenge or used countermagic. He simply continued his work, while Anil, consumed by the fear of his own curse, made the series of panicked, irrational decisions that led to his own bankruptcy. The evil eye exists as the internal heat of jealousy. It is a fire that inevitably consumes the vessel carrying it, long before it ever reaches the intended target.